Okay, good morning. I'm going to try to do a quick video. I always try to do quick. If you watch my videos, I say that too often. I'm sorry. They always take longer than I wished. But two things I'm trying to do today. This crazy machine that you see here is my bead roller, and it's a put together piece of fill in the blank that I originally purchased from Harbor Freight, and it is really CCC, cheap Chinese junk. The other C was for something else. And I changed it. I added bracing. It's called arthritis. I added bracing all the way around it to give it some body and strength, because what I do with it now is I raise and lower. You see the gap here? See, the gap's gone. That's what I wanted to be able to do. And to my knowledge, I could not find, other than a $30,000 machine, a bead roller that would accomplish that. So I wanted to do it on the cheap. I don't use the machine a tremendous amount. I will use my Pullmax or some other device frequently for the kinds of texturing that I want to do. But for the job at hand, and for one of my former students who's a great friend now, and I'm trying to give him a clue on direction for him to go in creating a machine like this, only better. It won't be hard to get much better than this. But the point here is that I took this from being a hand crank job over here to a multi step down speed thing. I'm going to steal the camera from off the tripod. And this is almost embarrassingly Rube Goldberg. And if you don't know who Rube Goldberg is, I'll let you look it up. Or else you do know. If you're as old as I am, you'll know. But this silly device, and it is kind of silly, drops the speed all the way down to a nice controllable slow feed, so that if something starts to go wrong, you'll know it and you can stop and change direction or completely stop. Also, it allows you to put a variety of textures into a given piece. I don't know if I can go over to my scrap pile. Of course not today, because I wasn't thinking of that, but I can't show you a piece really quickly. But here you go. What I'm going to do is roll through a large leaf. These leaves will become components of a set of gates that are going to go to a home offshore. I won't mention the name exactly. And it's a rebuild. Here's the original when we finished the first set. The reason for the redo is a storm. The storm hit this with quite a lot of sail. Probably should have been removed and placed aside. That's a tip for the owner. Just a thought. Don't know if you have that option, but certainly some of my clients who live in hurricane-prone areas do remove a gate or gates and set them aside. So what I'm going to try to do really quickly here is run a single leaf through here, give you a clue as to what this thing looks like and what it can do. It actually is so antique, I have to kick start it. How do you like that? And successfully we're running. Now I'll grab my my leaf without a vein, run it through it. It takes a little bit of time, so I kind of hate to do this. I don't need to watch the whole thing, but I don't have a lot of options. I've only got 3 hands. Now with this thing rolling, I can turn it. I can move it all over the place. I can make, theoretically, I can make right angles, but of course I don't want to do that because we're trying to mimic the look and the feel of a leaf. And I'm going to pick up the camera and show you a little bit of what I have done on this one and on some of the others. I do move it around a bit. I want a little bit of a curve. In fact, sometimes I do a little bit more than is natural in the wild. And our eye likes that. If you do, you know, if there's such a thing as a leaf out there that is just straight as a string, good. But I don't really want that. I want to look organic and flowing and natural. And sometimes we go a little bit unnatural. Hey, there you go. There's a nice bead in a still flat leaf. Now, of course, we've got a lot of shaping to do on a whole lot of leaves. There's 30 plus, 35, 36 or so in there. But I start out, here's a very little tiny one. I start out on that bandsaw over there, do a rough cut get them pretty close to a shape. Notice this has got a little bulge on it over here. I don't care. By the time we put a little bit of a notch in here and over here, it'll look very natural. Then I go over here and I true up the edges, take all of the nasty little deburring parts off, and then we go over to the bead roller. After that, we'll put in the little cuts that are quite, the other way, that are quite natural, and then we'll roll in some additional veins to give it a more natural look. Then we go into the shaping process. We'll give it a bit of a lift and a curve, and on and on and on. Now this, as always, my video is getting longer than I wanted it to be, but the point of all of this is to show one particular friend who will know exactly who I'm talking to, that this is done with a variety of gizmos, an air cylinder up here, and these things are so sloppily made in China, thank you Chinese, that there's enough give in these bushings that the little bit of movement that we have does not affect the operation of the rollers at all. The machine that we hope you're going to use might be a little more restrictive, but over here, see, the gears are, see that, you can barely see it, I think, on the video. The tiny amount of movement right there doesn't matter. We're not driving a race car, or we're not driving an airplane, anything. This is very, very crude because we can get away with crude. Okay, that's about it for now. Hope this helps. Bye.